You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this will be a piece of cake.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Because I'm locked in.
You're locked in?
Yeah,
Hell
buddy.
yeah, dude. Folks, welcome to the 4 Hours Podcast, an internet radio phenomenon hosted by an occasional morning person. I ask the most interesting people I know about their sleep, their routine, life, love, stress, and setbacks. If you want to talk to us, you may do so in one of two ways. The first way is to email us at the 4hourspodcast@gmail.com, or you could DM me on Instagram. I am at Bobby Sheen, LOL, because you know I bring the laughter. Right now, I have a very funny man, a comedian, and possibly our best dressed guest ever. That's a challenge to the future guests, Chase DuRousseau. How you doing, Chase?
Hey, how you doing, man?
You're here, man.
Good to see you too, buddy.
You got your coffee. You got your blazer.
We're late because I needed the coffee. I was like, listen, I need to.
You need to wake up, dude.
I need to wake up.
Are you a coffee everyday guy?
You know what? I'm not. I took so I started drinking coffee as a kid, like when I was like 10 or 8, like with my grandma. Because it just tasted delicious and just wanted to, you just want to be doing what the grandparents are doing. But they make the coffee super delicious and sugary and everything. And so I sort of grew up with it in my life. And then maybe in my 30s, or my 20s, I just kind of stopped drinking it. So I took like 10 years off. And then I realized when I started drinking it again, like, no, this is my medicine. Like, I think maybe sometimes whatever your mom did whenever you were in the stomach, normalizes you a little bit. So I think I need coffee because I'll go days without it and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm in a fog right now. Like I think medicinally I need some coffee.
I notice this even if I if my sleep routine is a little off and I sleep in one day, I'll wake up with a headache, and it took me a while to realize that the headache is literal caffeine withdrawal. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
My body's like, it's been more than 24 hours. What are you doing, dude? I can't believe that you were drinking coffee at 10 years old, though.
Oh, yeah.
They say it stunts your growth.
I don't think that happened.
Didn't happen to you. And I didn't drink coffee when I was 10, and it happened to me. So.
Yeah, but also I wasn't drinking pounding it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I've always been sort of a 1 cup a day, one or two. And then I become a tea person after that. I like the beans and the leaves to just go at war with each other in my stomach. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, let them fight it out. They both have caffeine. I want to say that tea has less caffeine in it, but that could be a made-up thing.
I feel like it does. I feel like it does. And I'm a huge fan of the sleepy tea.
Sleepy
in
tea?
In the evening, just something about, I think our bodies like warm water a little bit, So something about the sleepy tea at night. But I'm also you see me at the comedy clubs, I'm always give me a, hot water and some lemon or whatever. Also I yell a lot. Maybe that helps.
The listeners can, I think, pick up on the fact that you and I are both high energy boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's not all natural. We need to pick me up every once in a while to get rolling. There's nothing worse when you have to host a comedy show. And when you're the MC, you bring the party. Your job is to be like, guys, we're at a party right now, and let me show you how much fun a person can possibly have. And when your job is to do that, but you're going through something, or not even that, you're just fucking tired.
Yeah.
And you're like, I almost feel like it's like you're the dad or perhaps the daddy of the comedy show where you're like, everybody, we're going to have a nice time. Even if inside you're like, I kind of can't handle this right now.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm the coach of a losing gym team. Like a football team that's losing or whatever,
Yeah.
But it's just fun. It's like, guys, we got to do this. It can either go this way or I have notes. To make you better. You know what I mean? And just help them out. You know what I mean?
You know what I've been thinking of recently is because I won't say any names, but I was emceeing a show and I had to clean up somebody's mess, so to speak.
Oh, wow.
Right. Like one of the comics on the show just did not do very well, and it is nobody's fault except for theirs.
Psychologically, did they take it out on the crowd? Did they make the crowd think it was their fault?
They did a bunch of things that I wouldn't have done, but I'm just one man. You know what I mean? But anyway, so they get off stage and I get up there and I almost feel like, you ever at a family party and a little kid falls and then there's that moment where they haven't started crying yet, but they're shocked that they fell. And then a dad usually or an uncle runs in and goes, you're okay. I feel like that's your job as a host. You're like, everything's fine. Everybody's going to be okay.
Yeah. As long as you psychologically acknowledge what happened, then it's not like this weirdness that lives inside their souls. I like that you said we were both high energy boys. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like you're one of those people that reminds me like, oh yeah, I'm a cartoon character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel that way like around like just animated people. It could be you, could be like one of those like cartoonishly gay dudes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like anybody who's like can't help but be themselves, even if it's just, you know, a super quiet person, but that's who they are. I get inspiration from that. I feed off of that. I'm like, thank you. Now I can be myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always been high energy, I think. I'm not even particularly extroverted. I lean, I think maybe on the scale, I'm like 55% extroverted, but I'm not a super extrovert. But I do, when I'm around people, I'm like, we're partying, dude. We're at a party right now. You know what I mean?
But when you shut down, you shut down. Like you're like, I don't even want to see anybody. I'm gonna take the scenic route to get to the bus. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like I'm done. Like do you feel like you go out until you're exhausted and then that's when you retreat and go back to your cave?
I have this thing, especially if I'm out at night. I have these rules. Usually it's like, unless circumstances like dictate that I change it, is like I got to be home by 11:30 p.m. You know what I mean? I think so because I'm so like if I'm having a nice time and I don't drink. So, but if I'm in a scenario where it's people aren't getting drunk, because if people are getting drunk, it's annoying to me and I have to leave. You know what I mean? But if it's a bunch of comedians and we're having a nice time, I have to like make myself leave because otherwise I'll stay out as long as anybody else is staying out. But then I get home and then it fucks with my sleep schedule. And the listeners know I'm so gay for sleep, dude. I love sleep.
Dude, I like sleeping and then waking up and then sleeping again. You ever like continuing the dream or whatever? Oh my God, I love doing stuff like that. Like I set like 4 sleep alarms just to come here today. Like I had like one at, you know what I mean, a certain time, and then every 30 minutes I had it going off. You know what I mean?
I don't like that.
You don't like cascading to awake?
I like
you like to just be right awake when you're awake?
I'm up. But I
need to start doing that. That's so inspirational for me.
To me, because it's almost like, especially at times in my life where I've been like a little low. You know what I mean? It's just like you get your ass up and get in the shower, and then
wow,
yeah,
that's a game changer right there.
I think so,
because it's like you get to wake up and have like a water massage. Like the shower just feels so good. Yeah, you know, to do that for yourself, you know what I mean? Also, people say flossing, call it a gum massage. Way better. That's what it is. That's the feeling. You know what I mean?
Does your back also bleed when you have a regular massage?
Yeah, it's funny, man.
There's I actually, but I did have that thing where I woke up continuously today because my roommate has birds. My roommate has 2 birds.
Are you kidding me?
Did not know about the birds until I moved into the apartment, but they have birds.
You moved in with a bird guy?
I moved in with a bird guy. Listen, I have my quirks too, okay? I'm rapping while I'm doing the dishes. I'm a weird person too. You know what I mean?
What time do the birds wake up?
At the ass crack of dawn, Chase. And I wake up at 9:30 on an early day. That's my work schedule, yeah.
Dude, I'm so sorry you live with a bird guy. Do you talk about that on stage?
Okay, so can we define bird guy? Because I do live with 2 cool black guys, but one of them has
a black bird guy. It's a black bird guy.
Black bird guy.
Like pigeons on the roof? Type black bird guy? How many birds are we talking here?
This is why I'm curious what you think of, because to me, I wouldn't know.
If you own a bird, you are a bird guy.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, they're just like 2 dudes, you know?
They're 2 dudes.
They go to the gym.
How many birds are we talking?
2 birds.
Same cage, different cage.
Same cage. They're like the same size. They're like both the size of my fist, and one is green, and I want to say the other one is yellow.
Hold on. I love that you classify birds like how I classify cats.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you the race of the cat.
Yeah.
If you had a gun to my head, I would not be able to know. I could just go, I thought they were color named.
If you put a gun to my head, I'd beg you to pull the trigger.
A green bird and like a yellow bird. No idea if it's a parakeet, a toucan. No idea what's going on.
They're tiny birds, and I've named them
like
Lincoln
finches?
and Chase.
Like
not Chase, you're Chase. Lincoln and Seward.
Lincoln and Stewart?
Seward.
Seward?
Because President Lincoln and Secretary of State Seward. Because they were friends. And so these birds are friends. But you know why I said Chase? My brain did this thing because your name is Chase, but also Salmon Chase, who was the Secretary of Treasury under Lincoln.
How do you know?
I have a lot of time to myself.
You know them like I know Marvel characters. That's insane. That's crazy.
If you read the book of Rivals, you'll learn all about Lincoln's cabinet. It's
Wait, is Rival about people who hate each other, like beefs?
Because they hate each other. They did.
Really?
Well, hate is a strong word. Lincoln is the first president where he had everyone he beat in the primary be in his cabinet when he became president. Like that's a tradition now, but he started that tradition.
Really?
Because he was like, we're about to have a civil war, so even though we might not get along, I need to have the best men for the job. And these are the best men for the job.
So he just set up his own.
Instead of having his like cronies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He set up masterminds. He wanted to really get stuff done.
Would you live with a bird guy?
No. Absolutely
That's
not.
a hard no for you?
Absolutely not. I've dated bird women, and there's something a little. They're great. They're great people, but they're also lizard people. If he's a bird guy, he's had lizards. Not there's anything wrong with lizard people either.
I don't know if he's had lizards.
You're a special person to find the warmth and care in the land of birds is wild, especially little birds. They're not talking birds. They're just loud.
No, but today they had, so there's construction going on in the apartment next to us, and the birds are put their cages on the window that's closest to the construction. As I'm talking about this, I realize how terrible my situation is. Also, my room is very dark. I have 2 different lamps to keep me from getting sad.
Any windows?
So I have 2 windows, but they're small.
Okay.
I have a very good rent situation, but it's because I have like a bunch of interesting things happening at once.
Right.
I feel like the construction has a lot to do with it.
The birds.
And then I have like 2 tiny windows that are like perpendicular to each other. So I don't you know where I notice I'm not getting as much sun as I probably should is because
Your skin.
Yeah. I looked in the mirror and I realized I'm like, fuck, I look like I could be taken out by garlic. That's when I realized.
It keeps you young. It keeps you, because you're one of those guys, you're either 18 or you're 35. I can't tell.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but it looks good.
I'm so white, I'm black. Isn't that crazy? The only thing that me and a black guy have in common is that you can't tell how old we are.
It's true.
And I don't know how old you are.
You know, redheads are the black people of white people. So we needed that. Like, we need your energy. You know what I'm saying?
Is that true?
I think so.
Explain
For
more.
sure. I mean, first of all, the skin. You guys know what you're doing. You know what I mean? You always take care of that stuff. You always got creams and stuff. Always take care of yourself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, I don't know if you like the word ginger, but if you switch the letters around, we all know what that says. It's kind of weird. Coincidence? I don't know. But you know what I mean?
I let
we have
you
a lot
say
in
it,
common.
but because we're
you know what I'm
friends.
saying? Like you guys love potatoes. You know what I mean? We love potatoes. You know what I mean?
Black people like potatoes.
Let me tell you something. When I lived in LA, I didn't have a lot of money.
Okay.
I had like 3 roommates. I was like, one day let's throw a party. And I had a baked potato party. Okay. You want to know how to throw a party for $30? Just get some potatoes and get some toppings and lay them out all on a table. And that's your baked potato party right there. Fun fact, bacon bits are vegan. Everybody's going to a baked potato party. Every single person you know. And it's lit. All you need is some good music. Buddy, throw a baked potato
You're giving
party.
me cult leader vibes right now.
Listen to me. You can be the baked potato icon of New York City. Okay. I'm saying we get influencers involved, producers, stuff like that.
Baked potato comedy
the
show.
Bobby Sheehan comedy show. No, a party.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. There could be a comedy show followed by an baked potato after party.
Okay. Interesting. By the way, you could tell you and I have done comedy for a long time because I was like, comedy show? And you're like, no, a fun activity.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, seriously.
Dude, I used to, so Facebook invites aren't what they used to be anymore, right? We're using Partiful now. But back in the day when you would get invited to a party via a Facebook invite, I would be so invited to get invited to somebody's birthday party, and then I would finish reading the invite and it would be like birthday comedy show. And I'd be like, oh, no, no. 99% of people, they would love to go to a birthday comedy show. What's
Absolutely.
that? But me, I go to comedy shows all the time, so it's not special to me.
Yeah, and I love that you said partiful too, because like it's like now, like if somebody invites me to a thing, if it's not a partiful thing, it's not even like a real party anymore.
Really?
I forget about it. There's something about the partyful thing where
Yeah.
it reminds you and does all that other stuff. You know what I mean?
It's hey, partyful is just like, hey, just following up. Hey, just following up that you said you'd come to this party.
Yeah, there's we've become accustomed to that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's a valid party. There's something that makes it valid.
It's at least, especially like a gentleman of a certain age, just myself. You know, it's like, hey, I'm down with the. Oh, right, I'm 33.
You're 33?
Yes, actually, by the time this airs, I might be 34. We'll see.
Whoa, nice.
I mean, I know when my birthday is. I'm not entirely sure when the episode.
But you're the age of Jesus right now.
Yes, and if I live to be 34, I've outlived John Belushi. I've outlived Jesus, and I've outlived Chris Farley. The Holy Trinity, in my opinion. Those are the three most important guys.
Chris Farley was like 33?
Yeah, so you have 27. Okay, so my theory about the 27 Club, you know the 27 Club, right?
I know the 27 Club.
So 27 Club is like mostly musicians because comedians get famous a little later than musicians generally.
Correct.
33 is the 27 Club for comedians. That's because you got Chris Farley, you've got John Belushi, you have, I want to say Freddie Prinze Jr., but don't quote me on that. Or no, Freddie Prinze. Freddie Prinze Sr. Hey, Maxim, is this annoying? Can you Google comedians that died at 33? Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Shout out to Maxim, honestly. If anybody's just listening in their car, just do a little like poetry snaps for Maxim. He keeps this whole operation going, dude. Because I don't know how to use the microphones.
Man, this setup is amazing.
It's great, right?
Here's the crazy part. I know this is also your vibe. Like this is like 1,000%. Like, you know what I mean? Color wise, you know what you're doing. You against that green absolutely works. You know what I mean? That electric blue bottle that you're drinking out of works. Do you put a lot of thought into the colors that you?
Absolutely not, Chase.
No?
No,
You didn't buy that shirt and think this matches my eyes perfectly? Because it's crazy to find that exact hue of blue, and that's exactly what your eyes are doing right now.
This is gonna break your heart, Chase. I regularly, when I start, my t-shirts start wearing and I need more, I go to Amazon and I go previously bought and I hit buy again.
Really? Do you find that the cut changes from year to year sometimes?
Okay, so I do have this problem where I'll buy, so this is a small, right? Yeah. So if you buy a small, I don't even know what brand this is, but sometimes it'll be too small. But a medium is always too big, which is weird because I'm buying from the same company.
Right.
So I do, maybe if I was more like money conscious, but like to me, I'm more time is money, right? I don't want to go to a store and shop for t-shirts. So I'll just buy this in a small, and if they're too small, I'll try again. And then
the same exact
and then just give away the ones that don't fit to like charity or whatever. Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You're saving money. You're giving stuff away.
Dude, shout out to Jeff Bezos. I know a lot of people hate you. Bo Burnham wrote that whole song about you or whatever, but like I am so sick of going to the store. I'm so it's such a load off my back, dude. Is that load off my back? Is that the expression?
Yeah, that sounds good. I guess load off. I don't know if I've never
Is
heard
someone
load.
coming on my back.
Anytime I hear load,
Shoulders. Weight off my shoulders.
Weight off my shoulders.
Load off sounds like someone busted on my back.
Could that be the name of this episode? The load off my back.
My episode names are very boring. The name is going to be Chase DuRousseau.
Okay, that's great. I do love going to places and shopping though.
Ooh.
Because I love talking to people at work and then snapping them out of that matrix. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, you are very extroverted, I think, right?
Well, when it comes to certain, I like when just helping somebody wake up for a second. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude, I love people watching in New York, and the one thing that like drives me crazy, and I don't think I'm super judgmental, but when people interact with a customer service person, and they treat the customer service person like they're a little robot, like a literal robot.
I don't like that.
They don't say please or thank you, hello or goodbye, or make eye contact. I'm like, how do you not feel gross from that interaction right now? You know what I mean? Like that's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what are they doing? Like, why are they? But also, they're the gross part. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
The person working there is fine.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
The person that's like, and I get that I don't know who I'm looking at that is having a bad day, but there's some people that must act like that every time. And I think sometimes it's, I don't talk to the help, which is the grossest you could possibly be, dude.
The grossest thing.
Yeah.
But then also in New York, sometimes like I feel like the help doesn't want to talk to you because they just want to get that money. They're like, okay, yeah, you're done. Okay, get out of here.
Have
you ordered from a Chinese restaurant? I remember once I was like, yo, I just want to say you guys are so good. Okay, next. Like they did not care. Like sometimes some people don't have time. So you also got to situational awareness.
It's a time thing. And then in that scenario specifically, they might not just know enough English to really talk with you too much. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
That's what I tell myself. You know?
Yeah, so you tell yourself. They know. I think they know English better than we do a lot of times.
So you hail from Houston.
I'm from Houston.
Houston. So was it culture shock? Because, okay, I've never been to Houston. I've actually never been to Texas. But the southern places I've been to, I'm like, oh, the caricature of everyone being super friendly is 100% true. Like that is a stereotype that everyone fulfills.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, when you came from Texas to New York, was it culture shock?
So I did a side quest in LA for like 7 or 8 years first. Okay. And it is a bit of a culture shock, but the New York, I think, is the nicest people in a weird way. In a weird way of just the honesty. Like I think overt politeness can be a little rude. It can be a little time consuming. It can be a little rude. It can be a little condescending. They can be a little placating.
Okay.
But I feel like there's an honesty with the New York helpfulness is insane. Like I remember when I first moved here, it was right before the pandemic, like in November of 2019. And I remember looking at a video on the subway where somebody was trying to unalive themselves on the subway, and just this ocean of people yelling at the person. Hey, get off the tracks. What are you doing? You're going to make us all late. Go home and do that shit. Yeah. Don't do that right here. You're going to make us all late for work. Get out of there. And everybody's like collectively like, it's like that scene in Spider-Man 2 where they save Tobey Maguire. They're like, look, you can do whatever you want to do, but don't be an asshole about it. You know what I mean? Don't get in our way of doing it. And I think that's just a form of love, and that can seep in sometimes. Like, oh yeah, like people have lives. Like you're being selfish to do some things sometimes in a way like that, or whatever. You know what I mean? There's people in your life that are affected by it or whatever. And I think that's a really nice way to do it, instead of, you know what I mean? Ooh, we'll freeze the world for you right now and stop. Everybody's gonna stop their whole lives just to save you right now. No. It's like, yo, get out of there. Come on, buddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a tough love that I feel like I need. I think wherever you're from, go somewhere else. And I think that helps you out. Ooh. If you're from New York, go to the South. That's why they migrate to Florida all the time. But that's also just another New York. You know what I mean? Try another thing at some point in your life. Sometimes for some people, you know what I mean? I think it can help if you just, I don't know, character building shit. I can't really explain it. You know what I mean?
No, I do think it's good advice to, even if you love where you're from, try somewhere else a little bit.
To challenge yourself, you really get to see what you are. You really get to see your full potential, and you get to like have love where you're from. Like I'm from Houston, but I just remember hating the humidity. I thought all beaches were horrible because our beach down there, Galveston, is just, it's the water's not cool. It stinks. It's a little, you know what I mean? There's a smell. Okay. I thought all beaches were like that. But I'll tell you this, going from living in Texas and then coming to New York, Rockaway Beach, I know people complain about it that are from here. Like it's kind of a shitty beach. It's not. That is a solid 7.5 out of 10 beach. And I've been to beaches all over the world. It's fine. Maybe even an 8 on a good day. You know what I mean? It's a good, the water's fine. The beach is fine. It's chill. You know what I mean? It's, you'll appreciate things once you go to other places and experience them. You know what I mean? But I'm a guy who didn't see the snow till I was like 30. So what do I know?
In LA or in New York?
In Houston, I did a show. No, I was living in LA. I did a show like in Reno, Nevada or something. It was snowing. I was like, I think it was Reno, Nevada. Yeah, that makes sense. It would snow there, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's where it was. And I saw snow for the first time, and it was great. And I'm like, okay, I want to see the world more. I want to travel more. That's what's great about comedy. You get to travel for free. You know what I mean? Sometimes you break even. Sometimes.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I was like, free. Yeah, you go for free. I mean, I think that the traveling is very cool.
Where are you from?
I am from upstate New York, Hudson Valley, so like 50 miles north of here.
I mean, here's the thing. I think that also kind of counts as moving. You know what I mean? 50 miles
100%.
away.
I'm not a native
That's
New Yorker.
a culture shock. Right.
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole new planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, New York is the bar from Star Wars. Like, all the galaxies come here. You know what I mean? Like in Texas, I'm like, okay, there's Mexicans, but here there's like other types of Mexicans, like Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. Like, it's amazing here. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes they speak different forms of Spanish. Like, it's like a whole different language where like somebody who speaks Spanish doesn't understand somebody from Portugal or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because people from Latin America speak very slow. But you know, I've heard that they say Colombians, they speak like they're almost like crying. I saw a meme that was like, and I don't understand any of this. I don't understand different types of Spanishes,
Right.
but I mean, I'm doing Duolingo every day, and I feel like I'm getting muy bien. But and then Puerto Ricans speak English, so there's this whole. That's from the meme I saw. Full disclosure, but yeah, man. Maxim, who are the dead comedians at 33?
Okay, so there's only two exactly.
Ooh, I was wrong.
But we got
Belushi and Farley.
Bill Hicks at 32.
Okay.
And Andy Kaufman at 35.
Ah,
Those are the big ones.
Andy Kaufman at 35.
Sam Kinison was 38. So kind of a lot in the 30s through 50s.
Sam Kinison.
But also, those are legends, to be fair. Like, it's not even like, we're not even talking about all the guys that we know that died in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Like, those are people that people know. Like, so I think usually that's the era when we get taken out, right? In the 30s. So if you make it to 40, you're probably pretty good for a while. You think if you make it to 40, you might make it to 50? Okay, then I'm good.
Yeah, you're good, dude. Have another cup of coffee. You're ready to go. Are you a morning person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a morning person and I'm a night person. It's a deadly combo. I take a lot of naps.
Oh,
All
okay.
about a nap.
You're not an afternoon person.
Not an afternoon person. That's probably my weakness. That's my weakest spot. Right.
Yeah.
But I do like naps, bro. I started watching this show. You know how there's like shows that people watch now. Like, everybody's like, oh, do you watch, what's a popular show right now? House of Dragons or whatever, right? Like, people are always I'm always like years behind or whatever. Like, I watched Breaking Bad like 2 years ago and I loved it. I watched all the Better Call Sauls. I'm like, oh, this is so great. Like, I was actually watching Saul with The World. Like, I caught up to that.
Yeah.
But I'm never like on time with the shows. Like, I'm always like super behind when it comes to shows that people are watching a lot. I just started watching this show. Forgive me if I'm late on this. Have you ever heard of this show called Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, like the Pokemon thing?
Yes. With the cards.
I'm so not. All I know is it's a Pokemon spinoff.
Correct. Like, well, it's in a similar vein, but they're playing cards.
Right.
But the art I always thought looked cool. Like, I'm like, okay, the art looks cool. I started watching the show, bro. It's like riveting. Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's up there with The Wire. I'm gonna throw that out there. It's that good. Okay, it's that good. You know what I mean?
No, I refuse to believe
Listen,
that.
hear me out. If you're a guy like me, okay, I'd seen a bunch of the Harry Potter movies. I'm not saying I saw all of them, but I did see a lot of them. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna read the books and then I'm gonna watch the movies. So I didn't see the last couple movies on Harry Potter, but I will say that, oh my God, my favorite Harry Potter movie that I saw was the one where they were just playing games against each other the whole time. It was almost like, it was like a sports movie. It was like a 30 for 30, but it was all Harry Potter. They're playing like witch shit against each other. You know what I'm talking about? Did you watch those movies?
Dude, I'm so unplugged. I read the first Harry Potter book and I watched the first movie and I decided neither the books nor the movies were for me.
That's incredible.
Isn't that weird?
No, if anything, it speaks to your contrarianness.
I don't know if I'm a contrarian. I do hate magic.
So you hate fantasy shit, but are you a sci-fi guy? Do you like
I need as much realism as possible. So if it's this thing like I'm trying to think of an example. If a plot point is like I liked Minority Report.
Right.
It's the
It's so
plot
funny.
point
When I
is-
thought
yeah.
sci-fi, that was the one that I thought of. I thought I read his books.
There
Philip
can't
K.
be
Dick,
too much
read a lot of
magic
them.
though. I have this weird prejudice against magic. I don't know what it is. Like I didn't really fuck with Lord of the Rings because I think that involves magic. Game of Thrones, I think, involves magic.
Right. So you hate fantasy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I like the typical like historical fiction and a war drama. I'll watch the hell out of either of those
Right.
two. You know what I mean?
And then science fiction, you'll like if it at least has a morality
Yeah,
tale or
but if
something.
if
Like, did you like Black Mirror? Did you like those?
Oh, I used to fuck with the Black Mirror
okay.
shows.
There you go. So it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
But if there's a spell, if people start reading spells, I'm out. You know, you start bringing Latin sentences with
Right.
a certain sachet, and
Right.
I gotta change the channel.
Right. So you hate the Bible.
Yes.
Jeez.
If you want to argue about religion right now, we can.
No. I just wanted to see. I want to know where the line is. I just needed to see where it was. And okay, so just magic spells. You're not a fan of.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you believe in astrology, or when you're talking to a girl and she's into astrology, what do you do? Like
Okay,
do you argue with them right off the bat, or do you? Are you like?
So okay, here are the different vibes. Because if say I'm on a first date with a woman, right, and she's like, "What's your sign?" and I'm like, "I'm a Virgo," and she's like, "Oh, that's interesting. I don't really believe this, but they say that Virgo." If she goes, "I don't really believe this," but I'm like, "Okay, so she thinks it's fun, but whatever."
Sanity.
But yeah, if she's like, "Well, that's," if she has an emotional reaction either way, that is a yellow flag. Because
Wait, what's the difference between a yellow flag and a red flag? What are we talking
well,
here?
a red flag is like all my exes are crazy. I'm like, all right, well, you're the common denominator, and I don't want to deal with your craziness. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or any stink about the bill in either direction. Like if she's like, it's actually a great way to kind of feel it out because she's like, you're paying, and I'm like, I don't like this. But if she's like, I'm paying because I'm an independent woman, I also don't like that either.
Yeah.
It just has to, whatever the interaction is, has to be chill. If I put my credit card down and she doesn't do
Bro.
anything, that's fine. If she goes, can we split? I'm like, that's fine too. But any power play that takes place involving the bill chase, that's a yellow flag too.
Yeah. I love that. A yellow flag. I love that. It's, and a red flag is what I like about a yellow flag is I feel like that's you throwing that out on the field to be like, now I'm looking for red flags. Do you feel like that's what the yellow flag does?
No, I don't quite feel that way. I feel like
Because nobody can be yellow flagless. Everybody's got a
right.
couple,
Well,
right?
that's the thing. Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with a yellow. When we say yellow flag, ladies, people of the world, whoever,
We don't mean Asian women.
that could be a yellow flag. No, but it's not. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything like negative. Like it's not like.
I think a yellow flag is to me, if it's something I think about later and I'm like, oh, I was being an asshole about that actually. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like going back to the astrology thing, if it's a thing she likes to do for fun and she doesn't really, heart and soul make actual decisions based on the
Right,
right.
right.
Then I'm like, let her have her fun, dude.
Yeah.
But if she's like, I need to know your exact birthday, I'm like, I think this is going to be a problem.
I like to know that world because I feel like it's like a religion, and it's nice to know what people think that believe that stuff.
Yes.
So I love having a woman by my side who understands that world because you also understand how waves of people's energy moves when they believe that stuff.
Right.
If that makes sense, right?
It does make sense. And I'm glad you compared astrology to religion because I actually feel the same way about religiosity when I'm dating somebody. Because if they're like, I believe in God, but I'm not sure about the specifics, I'm like, well, I don't believe in God, but we're so close.
We're so close.
But if she's like, I go to church every Sunday, it's not a value judgment on her, but I'm like, I think we're incompatible. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's I think people overthink compatibility, but I also think people put too much emphasis on the opposites attract thing. I think sometimes if you're too opposite, then it's not going to work, especially with values, right? So if she likes to go to church every week, that's fine, but I don't go to church every week. So we might be incompatible.
You might
know
be,
what I mean?
but also sometimes I'm throwing this out there as somebody who used to be in church world growing up. It's almost just like a community or something. You got kind of got to think of it almost like if you date like an Indian person, whatever, they're gonna go to Indian events and hang out with Indian people, etc. You know what I mean? Like it's just a part of the thing. But if they're super duper into it, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? That could definitely be.
Yeah.
Like my dad loved the Bible, like how a Harry Potter person or like a, you know what I mean? Like a Star Wars person like goes to Comic Cons and dresses like he like every Sunday, super into it. Did the singles groups thing at the church, like the different activities and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's just what you get out of it. You know what I mean? As long as it doesn't, as long as the person can still be a person, I think that helps. But have you ever dated a religious person and did it work out or
No, I've never seriously dated a religious person. I think I sort of it might be because I've dated in New York City for most of my dating life, and there's just less religious people there. My ex was Jewish, and that was important to her, but she wasn't religious. You know what I mean? So it was like a cultural identity and not a religious thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think it'd be that much of a turnoff for you at all, my guy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to talk about too and explore that a little bit. I think you guys could have some really good conversations. I don't know.
I did have to, because what was super interesting about this is she wasn't like very, very religious, but it came up in conversation that she didn't believe in evolution.
Okay.
And I was like, I felt so bad. I was talking to my friends. I was like, am I being an asshole? They're like, I don't know if that's the mother of your kids, bro.
Yeah.
Going like, so you think we really came from monkeys? I'm like, And I very nicely tried to be like, and not be an asshole about it. I'm like, so like, you know, it's not saying we come from monkeys, right? But that we have a common ancestor. And then she was like, yeah, I know. Like I couldn't even break. And then she tried to turn it into this, like, you know, how, like sometimes you'll have a difference in the early stages of dating, but it's like cute because it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm a Mets fan, you're a Yankees fan, and we rib each other about that.
Right.
She'd be like, oh, well, Bobby believes in that we come from monkeys. I'm like, please stop bringing this up.
That's not Mets and Yankees at all.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I was so stunned by that because I thought I thought that was like a right-wing evangelical thing. But sometimes I think it's just like you weren't exposed to like great science education, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know what that was. I don't know. Do you have any red flags or deal breakers?
Oh man, honestly, you know how sometimes you go to a girl's house and she'll have like an animal that they like the most, and they'll have like a couple of like totems or, you know, stuffed animals or whatever, like little figurines of like animals or whatever. There's something weird about owl girls.
Did you date someone that was an owl girl?
Every time they're an owl person, just take it. Yeah, man, you're ready to be a dad for sure. I love that. I love that type of humor. I love that.
Yeah. As soon as I have more than $1,000 in the bank.
Yeah, there's something red flaggy about an owl. Every time it's an owl girl, they're a little. They're passionate, but they can run and get mad at something very easily. I feel like
you've had enough experience with owl girls that you have them figured out.
Owl girls, owl tattoo. Just be on the lookout for watch what happens. Just watch what happens. Something a little extreme.
You're saying it's for the birds?
What?
Being an owl girl is for the birds?
It's for the birds. Yeah,
damn.
Man. Just be on the lookout. You'll see what I'm talking about.
She's not a hoot? Is anyone still listening?
Owl people usually mean to servers at restaurants. I feel like from what I've seen, they can be a little
Chase, what is your sample size that you know about owl girls?
I'm gonna say 3. There's
Three
been
owl
3
girls.
owls.
That's a good sample
no positive
size.
owls.
No positive
owls yet. Prove me wrong.
If you're a cool
world.
owl girl, please note in the comments. We're interested. Maybe we'll have a bit of chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe change our minds about owl girls because 3 is a good for dating. That's a good sample size.
Yeah. Elephants, giraffes, wife material. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Everything else, you can tell a lot by whatever animal they.
Can I say hot take?
What's up?
A dog girl. Love a dog girl.
Love a dog girl.
She
That's
takes
best
care
for
of that dog.
energy.
She's gonna take care of my baby.
Yeah, dog girl usually likes weed. Is chill.
It's chill.
You know what I mean? For guys like us, and I feel like we're animated dudes, like a chill person goes such a long way.
They
like,
can train
'cause you want
dog.
a
They can
partner.
train us.
Yes, if they train a dog, they can train a child. It's very similar. Like,
Yeah.
it's a mammal. Yeah, teach it things. You know what I mean?
If you got a chocolate chip little Debbie, you could that'll make me sit and relax. I have had that because you're right. We are high energy. That I've been with someone. And she's like, all right, calm down a little. I remember one time I dated this girl for like a little while, and we started sleeping over each other's houses. And she was like, you need to turn it down a little bit in the morning, because like I said, the alarm goes off, and I'm like, we're fucking. You know what it is though?
It's either one or the other for me. Either I will keep hitting the snooze alarm and keep going, and you know what I mean, and then get up like the 5th or 6th time.
Yeah.
Or I can just, if it's one of those days, I'm like, let me just get up and go at it right now. Like it's a travel day, whatever. If I got a lot of stuff to do, but it weirds people out how we can just like coffeeless, right? Like you just get up and you're ready to go. Coffee helps.
Yeah.
But you can just get up and just.
I try to go an hour and a half before I have my first cup of coffee because Chris Williamson told me I have to. And
that helps. Do you write in that first hour and a half?
No, I have this whole routine which the listeners already know about, but like I go outside for a little while just to so I've walked outside.
Absolutely.
Get some sun, although I have an
What's the phone
adversary.
situation?
So, okay. I do so when I wake up, I try to ignore the phone, even though I use it as my alarm. But I try to I literally for those just listening, I'll pick up my phone and I'll cover the top 50% of my phone screen so that I don't see the notifications, right? And then I turn the alarm off. I go pee. I weigh myself. I weigh myself every day, and then I have a glass of water, right? You have to weigh yourself before the glass of water because otherwise you're weighing the water weight.
Pause for 1 second. I just want to say, ladies, that's husband material. The fact that he can take care of himself enough to block the notifications, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't want to see this part, the scary part of the movie. You're doing that for yourself. You're doing that for yourself. It's like, I'm not going to allow myself to give a shit about that right now.
Because I know.
And that's so like everything you're doing to start off with that is such an act of love for yourself. You know what I mean? To protect your energy, to protect your vibe. That's such an important thing. It seems like a tiny thing, but that's very powerful, man.
Okay.
And to do that out the gate is wild. To not let the id take over. Even to try, even if you peak a little bit, to try.
Yeah.
That's such a great, to start off with an act of taking care of yourself like that and managing yourself is fucking huge. Anyway, continue the story.
Yeah. So let's see how you feel about this, because then I go outside and I sit on my stoop for 4 minutes. I set my alarm 4 minutes, and then I look at the notifications.
That's great, but to give yourself a window to look at notifications again, you know what I mean? To not dwell on it and whatever, you know?
Yeah. And then I do, meditation, Duolingo Spanish, breakfast, coffee.
You have a class before you have breakfast, coffee?
You're bigging me up right now, Chase. I need this.
That's such an adult move.
Maxim, can we clip this part where Chase says I do everything right?
No, I mean, just to have that amount of self-care, I'm a guy that vacillates and struggles with like looking at footage of myself and editing it and stuff like that. And you're able to teach yourself another language and do another class and stuff. That's a great workflow to be able to do that. Anyway, keep going with your day. Hadn't even started yet. Is that it? Or
and then
more?
I either go to the gym or I go to a coffee shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the day starts after that.
And then I usually do all the comedy admin stuff we got to do. Try to do an open mic. If I have any spots that night, I'll do this.
Calling it comedy admin stuff. Chef's fucking kiss, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. Chase, my biggest cheerleader.
No, I'm gonna absorb some of that and just take some. I mean, that's such a great way to. I guess I'm a guy that needs a schedule.
I would have done
I'm
that joke to anybody.
Guy. It's a hard thing to admit that you're a checklist person. And I think you're a checklist. If you do that pretty steadily. Like some days you take it off, some days you take it off, or you're pretty steady with.
I'm a iPhone's reminder guy for sure.
Have you always been a checklist guy?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's because otherwise
you've been doing this for years.
Yeah, and it's twofold. I get very overwhelmed by everything that I have to do. So if I have things written down, I always have this anxiety of like, I'm forgetting something. I'm forgetting something right now.
I just forget the shit and like, oh yeah, I forgot to do this. I'll do it tomorrow. And I've been in this state of that for months, sometimes years.
Yeah.
But just, I guess, to officially have the checklist and do the iPhones remind, I got to be that guy. That's great.
But there's also...
I don't know how I've lived this long. How am I alive right now? That makes no sense. That's such a good... I love that. Comedy admin stuff. Like, that's... Oh, that's so good. We have a middle name?
Ooh, Thomas.
Nice. So do you feel like when you're doing the comedy admin stuff, that's Thomas taking over the body for a second?
I feel like you're giving me, throughout the podcast, you've given me various Rorschach tests. I think it's me the whole time. I think it's Robert Thomas Sheehan, first and foremost. Watch, I'm going to get doxxed now.
R.T. Sheehan sounds like a director that makes good shit.
Ooh. Dude, you've been banging me up. Okay, so we talked about my routine a little bit. Is there something new you've implemented to your routine? It's a question I've been asking people.
Something new that I've implemented into my routine?
Is there like a new thing you're doing? You know what I mean?
It's just gradual. New things come and go and ebbs and flows and phases and stuff like that. But I think the importance of walking around, like I live next to Prospect Park. So there is an importance to getting up and just walking around and just getting some nature in there. And the importance of not looking at your phone for like the first 30 minutes to an hour for me is transcendent, Yes, I've been watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm on episode 7. It's really good. I can't believe you beat that bug guy. That was nuts. But it's just little things like that. But I think I need a little more order in there because some days I'll just get through the day and I'll pour it all into going up and doing shows and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I think new thing that I've been trying to do too is like, this is gonna sound crazy, but allow myself free time. Like allow myself to like be like, you don't have to, everything doesn't have to be like for your career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like things like watching Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, my new thing is I like to...
Please watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Just watch one episode and let me know what's up.
I'm not an anime guy. I'm not against it.
It doesn't matter.
No offense, Maxim. Maxim loves anime. But
Maxim, do you watch? Have you ever seen Yu-Gi-Oh?
I watched it when I was a kid. It's crazy that you're watching it now.
Bro, season 1 is just watch it until they get to the island and then let me know how crazy that is. Watch it until he fights the first guy, the bug guy at the island.
Dual Island is nuts.
You know what's up.
Yeah.
okay, so I feel like I got into Pokemon cards when like almost against my will. Like the show didn't grab me. The idea of collecting the cards didn't grab me as a little boy. But there was a brief moment in the late 90s where you were weird for not being into it. So like due to social
So you were into the
pressure-
cards, not the video games, the cards.
Yeah. That was a big thing. I remember my friends were like, what Pokemon cards do you have? And as a little boy, I was like, I didn't have the confidence to be like, well, it's actually not something I'm interested in. So I was like, just like the main ones or whatever. And then I was like, Mom, I need Pokemon cards. That was like...
And your mom got you a little starter deck or whatever?
And there was a Pikachu in there. And I was like, well, this is the main one. You know what I mean? And I remember there were like these cool older kids. And I had like this, and if you named 1,000 Pokemon, I wouldn't be able to tell you which kind it was, but I had like this card that was like super rare and super important. And I made a bad trade with this older kid so that this older kid would like me. And I remember my parents watched this exchange, and my dad was like, "Did you make a good trade?" And I said, I can't believe I said this to him. I said, the trade was in his favor, but like we're friends, so it's okay. And my dad was like, that guy is like an older kid and you guys aren't friends, and you shouldn't behave that way. And I remember it even as a 33, 34-year-old man. Wow. You know, that neediness. I think that was the beginning of me being less needy as well. And Chase, I want to ask you if you're agreeable or disagreeable, but unfortunately our time is at an end.
What?
So
can we do a part 2? This was nuts.
We're gonna do a part 2.
Good.
We just got
started.
started.
Got good. Mm-hmm. We just got in the flow. Mm-hmm. So sorry about whatever happened if it wasn't that interesting. Whatever. But the next time we do this,
yeah,
we're buddies now,
guys. This was podcast foreplay.
Pokemon card trauma. Mm-hmm. You finish. I start off with Yu-Gi-Oh. You finish with Pokemon card trauma. You know this is a good episode. Uh-huh. Watch this to see the origins of how it happened, and then the next time we're going to continue off from there. We're talking about childhood traumas, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, anime shit.
Or if you're more of like I like the prequel type of guy, you could watch part 2 first and then watch this one.
And you get to hear people becoming friends for real.
If you're listening to this, you've already listened to the full episode, so that was actually kind of useless.
You want to learn how to skateboard together? Because I've always wanted to. I don't need to do tricks. I just want to be able to do it for transportation. I think it'd be so cool just to be in the bike lane.
So Chase, if people want to like watch your learning to skateboard journey or hear your take on Owl Girls, how can they find you?
I'm hoping he spells my name correctly. It's DuRousseau. That's the name of the episode. It's also the name of all my social stuff. I promise I'm going to start posting more because I'm going to adapt this motherfucking workflow. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to have some water. I'm going to go to the park. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to sit on my stoop. Then I'm going to look at my notifications. Then I'm going to go to a coffee shop or whatever, do some comedy admin stuff before I start my day.
So guys, that's how you find him. And perfect summation of part 1 of the Bobby and Chase podcast. And folks, remember, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm just playing night owls. You know I love you.
They're owl people?
Thank you.